Morning, guys. Just getting started here. I just need to add the opening range gap quickly, and then I'll get into a bit of the analysis here. Sorry for the noise. I am munching on some broccoli right now, so might be a little noisy there. Not sure how much the speaker picks up. So right now we might have crossed or we're very close to crossing previous day's high. Nice. So right now on the one, we're still waiting for the first presented fair value gap. Um, but just to kind of touch on what we're seeing so far, pretty bullish delivery all week. Um, very clean delivery for the most part. Very, very unexpected for a non-farm payrolls week. How clean the delivery was the majority of the time. It was pretty much higher for longer all of the week. We did have some sell side deliveries during that, of course, but pretty strong buy side. And this is the high of the week. The low is somewhere down there. Let's see, I'll actually just note that the low is 19,102.25. So we've got the 20% and 30% ranges on here for TGIF, which would be a 20 to 30% retracement. Um, let's see what we have here. So we had news at 8:30, which is non-farms payroll. That's kind of what we were expecting all week, like waiting for all week, which is why price is usually pretty gnarly. We took out this sell side liquidity around 5 o'clock, so during the Asia kill zone. Um, Before going up here, we didn't really take anything out. We just raced right up. So I do think it is reasonable to see the TGIF retracement. I also think it's reasonable to want to come down and clear some of this sell side liquidity. And I believe this is an opening range gap from last night. No, new week opening gap. So we have an opening range gap. I want to say maybe it's down here. It's definitely lower. I don't know. They're not opening range gap, but new day opening gap. Somewhere down there. Um, so it would make sense for price to seek those lower levels. And we just ran out this previous day's high, so again, makes sense to start to want to go lower. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes. I do want to see. I want to see some follow through on price, which it looks like we're getting right now. And I'm not seeing the PD arrays that I want on the 1 minute, so we might have to drop down to the 15 second because it seems pretty efficient so far. So let's take a look in here. Yeah, pretty clean on the 15 second. Order block here, order block here. Uh, we're still setting up during all this, so missed those entries there. But I do expect to spend a little bit of time in this. Uh, let's see what this gap is. This new week opening gap. So I do think we should be able to find an entry. I don't like this as a order block, so I'm gonna wait a little bit longer and see what we get here. But gonna use the 1 and the 15 second. Would love to see an order block on the 1 minute. This could be it, not sure, but just gonna hang out and see what we get. So we're seeing a little bit of inefficient delivery right here. This order block invalidated now. Okay, just traded into this volume imbalance. So I want to see if we close above it or if we run away from it lower. Let's see. This is the opening range gap midpoint all the way down here. Got to see how far we went into this. This might just be the upper quadrant, which would mean this remains pretty strong bearish. 52.25, or bullish, not bearish. Sorry. So let's roll this back a little bit. Look at that. Right inside that upper quadrant. So pretty pretty bullish there. Failed to even touch this the bottom of the upper quadrant. Just gonna move over to the 1 here. Just revisited this. So this looks like this may be an order block here. We gotta watch. I want to see if this can close above the midpoint of here. If not, it's not a trade worth taking. A little late on that. May get stopped out, but I'd want to just see us take this. Ooh, okay. So we're running into some inefficient delivery here now. Hate it had to be me. So I want to see if we get an immediate rebalance, being that this candle comes up and closes somewhere around here. Um, or if it just starts to go lower. Man, I don't like this delivery now. It's pretty inefficient. You can see it's moving like robotically, which I don't love. I do like that we came up and closed in this area though, but it just kind of looks inefficient at the moment. Yeah, super inefficient. We might have to wait and drop down to the 1 minute here. Just got to see how this candle closes. If this closes up or above the midpoint of this, we'll take another entry. Otherwise, we'll sit on the side because it's coming a little bit inefficient here. All right, so I'm gonna have to move off of the 15 and get to the 1. Unfortunately, that first entry we took was right when it started to become inefficient here. So gotta see what's going on. This looks, man, this is kind of rough. So moving up to the 1, if this closes up here, this could be an immediate rebalance. But again, we're seeing this back and forth delivery. So I'm gonna hold off for a bit and see if we can get something more decided. So might be a little bit late to the game, but I'm gonna want to see if price can break this range here. So if we can get above here, or if we can get below here. We'll see what price does once it gets to either of those, and then reassess. So the fact that it's moving kind of robotically, like back and forth, but not very far, and we can see that it's not very smooth. That's very inefficient delivery, and that's what we want to avoid. Let's look at the 15 second. 15-second here is pretty gnarly. Little volume imbalance right here. A little immediate rebalance right here. So I would like to see this candle displace higher. That would tell me that we are actually going somewhere. Hmm. Stuck. All right, so let's see what this one does. If it comes down in here a little bit and then starts to race up, we can trust that it's moving higher. If it doesn't, kind of just sit on the sidelines and wait for either this or this to be broken. Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty inefficient there. So makes a lot of sense that we got stopped out right here. Excuse me. Just happened to take the trade right as it ran into this inefficient delivery. So I'm gonna move back up to the one. If price starts to get like fast, moving quicker, we may be able to move down to the 15 if we aren't seeing any entries available on the one. But not seeing that right now. So we may just be mohawking over this first presented fair value gap. We got 950 coming up, so we should get a macro that starts a delivery until 11:10 at least. Still waiting for either one of these to be broken and then to watch how price reacts there. Bring this out a little bit further. That was nasty. And to be honest, this is like kind of expected after a week of really clean one-sided delivery. It makes sense that we'll do this. And then on top of that, um, yesterday at the end of the day, we ran down about 400 handles, I think. And to recoup all of that overnight and this morning and trade to the previous day's high, just barely go above it. It makes sense that we're doing this. Likely accumulating shorts and getting rid of longs up here. Doesn't mean that we're gonna go lower, like this isn't the top, but it makes sense that we're gearing up to move lower. Just hanging out like this makes perfect sense. But this type of delivery is not really good for trading. Put a block here, but on the 15-second price is pretty rough, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this invalidated. And that is the only one, I think, besides these two right here on the 15-second. So invalidated. Stick with the one. I'll look at the five. I'm not trading the five. I don't really want to. That's nasty. Absolutely not something to put a trade on during. Okay, so we broke one side here, sell side liquidity. So we want to see if price quickly rejects and runs higher, or if it wants to come down more quickly and perhaps close below this quadrant here. 950 should have started that macro, so let's see. Oh, okay. Low. High. Oh, 07. Let me see. This closes. I think that is gone lower. Oh, 70, 75. Yeah, that's beautiful. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Um, should be able to use this as an inversion fair value gap. So long as price starts to move into some efficient delivery, this will be an inversion fair value gap. So we should be able to trust price not going too far above this here. Rough delivery here though. Like this is, let's see, yeah, this is the first order block in this delivery. I don't want to take an entry with a 40 handle stop, but all right, so let's see if this gets invalidated. We have this fair value gap right here, and then we have this seemingly order block. I don't really love this as an order block. I think it can be used. Let's see, 50. Oh, invalidated. This is terrible price action. So we broke this to one side, but we didn't move down quickly or reverse quickly. We hung around for like 2 minutes before doing that. So that kind of tells me this isn't really going anywhere anytime soon. I'd like to be wrong about that, but that's what I'm getting from seeing that price delivery. Want to see how this trades in relation to this here. Wow. So another visit to this first presented fair value gap. Okay. Let's get this on the 5. It'll just be like wicks. So clearly a terrible environment to trade in. If you go to the higher time frames, it's wicks. If you go to the 15-second, I believe it's just like longer bodies just going back and forth. Um, and then the one is just kind of there. So fortunately, Fridays are maybe not the best days to live stream. Um, and that I think that has to do with like the delivery during the week. If we see some pretty good delivery during the week, everything will pretty much be done by like Thursday afternoon or Friday morning before like 10 a.m. So might have to figure out a different day to live stream, but I don't really like that idea. See if that breaks this side. Or I guess this. This would be fine. We broke this. I'd like to see this broken if we're going to continue higher. Possible order block on the 15-second. I hate the way that price is delivering though. God damn. Missed that. I'm not taking that. So if this is actually going to continue higher, I'd like to see this candle close around here at least. Next one to come in a little bit and then go higher. If we get something other than that, I don't really trust this to continue higher. And I do not trust that. Unless this current candle right here comes and closes in this area, I don't think we continue higher. This is ugly. So honestly, to me, it kind of looks like price action that is going to lull people in. Like we get something that looks like a move going in one direction, so momentum traders. It kind of looks to me like it's something that is trying to entice them and then come back down and take their stops into the other side as well. Now, this is interesting. On the one, it looks like we're getting an order block over here. It looks like this just rebalanced this price range. But I really don't feel like taking an entry with a 30 handle stop. So if it runs, I'm just going to let it do that. All right, so I'm gonna move back down to the one just so we can watch that. I think price here did revisit this first percent of fair value gap. So if this is going higher, we don't want to see this candle like come below here, come below this candle here. It would be permissible for it to trade into this fair value gap here. We don't want to see that. It's permissible if we see that and then get a really long wick that comes all the way down here and price ends up closing up in this area. But to see it start to run off quickly, I'd want to see it close above the midpoint of this candle here. I think that might be asking a lot considering how slow we've been moving. This current candle, same deal as the last one. If it does come down, I don't want to see it go lower than the midpoint. If it goes lower than the midpoint of this, I want to see it come down strong, create a large wick, close up in this area, and then have the next one take off. But not something I'm interested in trading because that is a lot more risk than I want to use. And I'm only using one contract right now. It's NFP week, so playing it safe. This is this is interesting because like where it is right now, it would look like higher for longer, and in that scenario, we'll just grind higher. It won't be that efficient, but it would just continue to grind higher into the end of the day. But I don't know if I can necessarily subscribe to that. I don't want to say that I think it's going lower. I just think with this price delivery that we're seeing, it's hard to believe that it's going one way or the other. And if you want to see what I'm talking about and not trusting the like delivery and price that we're seeing right now and how dreary and slow it is, just check out my live walkthroughs from the rest of this week, like Monday through Thursday. There's at least one every day, and the price is nothing like this. So it was pretty easy to trust that it would be going somewhere. Um, this here, I don't trust it as far as I could throw it. All right, so we're seeing some price discovery here. I do think we'll get a large candle. If not this one, I'm thinking the next one. Uh, Again, if we don't see a large candle on this one or the very next one, then my thought is we continue sideways. I think we just ran out this morning's highs. Yeah, just ran out this morning's highs. So hopefully we start to see a little bit more action in price delivery. We just ran out those highs, so that should allow the price engine to start to engage and do its thing. Hmm, surprising. So what's interesting right now is that this presents as an order block on the micro or on the mini. This does not as much on the micro. So we can see like we have this one candle. This one is a doji, but open and close is different. It's a down candle. So this would generally be looked at to possibly be an order block. But if we come over here, we have all three of these candles. So it just makes it really hard to even look at it that way because we could in theory grade this, and then if we closed below there and started moving quickly, we could have kind of confirmed that it's an order block. But on the flip side, if it came up and invalidated it as it did here, then we'd be able to say, okay, this is invalidated, this is likely going higher for longer. um but again, with this price action, it's really hard to do that. You can't really trust what's going on. And like even this, I would want to see this close up around here. I don't think it's going to. And then see this candle come down in here a little bit and then start to um displace higher very quickly, but not getting any of the normal price signatures right now. Yeah, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and not say that and say that we aren't just discovering price. I think it's actually being manipulated just based off of the way that it's moving and the lack of signatures that we're seeing. Because we should be seeing a large candle right here or the very next one. And based off of what we've been seeing so far, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it should happen quickly, but not seeing it. Okay. Still don't like it. It's too slow, too robotic. Can absolutely trade it. I do think it's just grinding higher, but nothing that I'd want to take for an entry. I don't even like the 15-second really. I mean, maybe here when we balance this price range at a proportion block, but I don't like the delivery, so not participating in it. Yeah, I don't trust this candle. I still think it's just gonna grind higher. I think we need to see a very speedy candle down here to trust it going lower. Otherwise, I think it's just gonna continue grinding up. I still don't trust that for downside unless we speed up right here. I think it continues grinding higher. Hmm. Reference of that previous day's high. This seems extremely controlled right now. It's not very free flowing. If you put a gun to my head and ask me right now higher or lower, I'd say just shoot me. I can't I can't make anything of this. I would tell you that this continues grinding higher, but I don't know, we're just not seeing any speed or consistency in the delivery here. Just waiting for this to pop. I'm waiting for price to like a bubble to pop and price to start moving more smoothly. If that doesn't happen, you guys are just kind of forced to watch this with me, unfortunately. I wouldn't try to short this right now, unless we got something very clean telling us we're going lower. I would not short it. I think you're standing in front of a moving train. Just because it's slow and it's coming down right now, I don't think that's much of a reason to expect a reversal. We got to see some speed. If we don't see some speed lower, we just grind higher or sideways. We could grind sideways, but it's been higher for longer all week as well as this morning. So don't short it unless we got some speed. I might add speed and follow through because that candle right there was a little speedy, but it's come right back. We need to see follow through. We need to see it speed in one direction. And that's okay if it comes back and creates like order blocks or PD arrays to use, but we want to see speed and follow through. Okay, so we might start to see something. Um, it does seem that price is speeding up a little bit here. I'm not really sure why, but it does look a little less dreary. Might have spoken too soon. You're on slowly again. So there we go. Looks like it is just grinding higher, but you can see it's inefficient, right? Like we traded down right there with a couple of candles that displaced. Um, we didn't really seem to want to go for anything. I mean, we have these relative equal lows. I don't think that's even worth coming down for. Um, we don't trade into order blocks to bounce off of them. Um, I don't know. I don't think there are any fair value gaps on the 15. Okay, maybe this fair value gap on the 15 second here. We revisited it a few times. But I don't know. Elements of precision aren't really there, is pretty much what I'm saying. I think even if this candle here closes down, we continue grinding higher. It's just not efficient, but if we're trading based on concept because we don't have the elements of precision there, I would just think that we continue higher. And if price doesn't speed up or become efficient, I think the next like 10 minutes, I'm gonna call it a day for stream. Um, and then maybe trade later or something if we see some more efficient delivery, but this doesn't interest me at all. So I would think we start to move a little more quickly higher right now. It only makes sense to, but again, seeing what we're seeing may just continue grinding. I'd say watch this candle. Well, watch the current candle in relation to this candle, but I don't think precision elements really matter. Um, so like this could probably be a propulsion block at any other time if price was efficient, but I don't think it's worth it to really pay attention to that right now. I think we kind of just have to trade based off of concept and market structure because the elements of precision aren't there. And I still don't trust this to go lower unless it goes lower quickly. Let's see, we didn't even trade into here. We got a volume imbalance here. So even if it does go lower, I'm not trusting that. We have it on the mini too. We have a volume imbalance. This didn't even close. It's the high. 64. 64. Yeah, that's technically open. So depending on how this candle closes, this candle might not. If this candle closes down and the next candle opens as a volume imbalance, this candle will technically be a gap. So let's see if we get that. Yeah, so if this candle closes down, this candle will be a gap, technically. I'm just putting it here in case it does close down. Still 30 seconds left on that candle. Okay. So not a gap. So this is interesting enough. It does kind of look like we're discovering price right now as opposed to being uh manipulated. Never mind. Seems penned. If this candle right here shoots up, this is just continuing to be penned and manipulated. This is nasty. Still looks like market structure is fine. So I don't know. We might have to wait for a shift in market structure. We can see right here that going lower, and once the market structure shifted, we continued higher. But there aren't really any elements of precision, nothing that we really used to key off of to move higher. We left a volume imbalance right here. Let's see if that's on the mini, the micro as well. Okay, so we don't have that on the micro, which is even more concerning. The micro and the mini are out of sync, so I think price is just being dragged. I think if we continue to be to can if we continue to trade in the area that we're in, and if we grind higher, I do think we gap lower on Monday. But intraday, nothing really that I'm seeing to be used besides market structure. Um, Kind of setting up to leave here now. I would keep my eye on this first presented fair value gap. I think outside of market structure, that may be the most important thing for taking any entries today. But I think the general setups like order blocks, propulsion blocks, fair value gaps, I think those are kind of out of the window. I would look more at immediate rebalances today and market structure. Unless price opens up and starts to move a little more quickly. Maybe I'll hang until 1050. I'll see if the 1050 macro presents something. I think after that I'm out. So I'll probably be here till 11:10 max. Okay, this the mini and the micro are still out of sync. Large volume imbalance right there, at least for the open. Um, and I think on the micro, maybe it is a small one. Maybe we do have one here as well. Yeah, we have a small one here, but pretty large volume imbalance here. 146.50, 65.75. Yeah, over a handle on this volume imbalance, and this one I think is a tick. Seen her before, buddy. Still not getting anything from this. I personally don't think I would be interested in a short unless we revisited the first presented fair value gap. And yeah, that's like 40 handles away, but one, I don't care. But two, it also gives me a little bit more conviction behind it. Gives us a PD array that we can actually use because there aren't a ton of PD arrays in the actual price action, the current price action itself that we can use um, for entries. So I'd want to see it get down there before trusting that it would continue lower. And 1050 can't come soon enough. Let's look at the five. I'm sure the five is just wicks. Oh, that's ugly. 15? 15's better. I know there isn't like any precision here right now, but it makes sense to see a displacement candle here. If we don't see a pretty large candle here, we do just continue sideways, but I think it makes sense to see a displacement candle here. I'd be flabbergasted if this candle ended flat. Let me check the chat. So I'd ideally like to see price start to move right at 950. That would tell me that we actually are seeing a macro that's going to deliver somewhere. Otherwise, I think we continue this grind that we've been in. That was a nasty candle. Hmm. Nothing for the rest of the day. Let's see whether or not this candle actually closes down. This is crap. So I think I'm actually just gonna close stream at 11. Unfortunately, nothing really happened here. Uh, just been, I mean, we grinded higher from like this order block, but we've just been trading in this range. That's interesting. So right now the current range is like the new previous day's high and the current high for today. Yeah, this week. But yeah, I don't really see us going anywhere. Um, we're staying very close to the previous day's high. So I don't think it's far-fetched to see us grind a little bit higher and then ultimately come down and close around like 19,900. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's far-fetched to see us grind higher, hang out, come down around here, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I'm gonna close this up as to not waste my time or yours. But thanks for joining, guys. As always, hope you learned something. Um, hope it was helpful. Uh, and good luck, good trading, and only good trades.